Hi, I thought I'd do a quick video looking at the new Grokipedia, which has just been launched. Not Wikipedia, Grokipedia. Yes, it's Grok. It's the Grok AI with its own version of Wikipedia to potentially overcome the infamous bias in Wikipedia. That's we won't get into the details of that, but I thought because I did a post on this on X/Twitter, and it kind of blew up a bit. People all discussing this kind of thing, so I thought I'd take a look at it and show you and look at a few more details here. So it's at grokipedia.com here, and it was just like released today. So I thought, let's take a look at it from a technical point of view. So none of that socio-political rubbish. What about using Grokipedia for technical stuff, right? For us nerds, where, yes, us nerds fight in Wikipedia, like to, update, oh, this is wrong, that sort of thing. But, generally, nothing that's controversial, right? If it's just sort of like, engineering, science, fact-based or whatever, then it's, pretty much there's no controversy there. Let's have a look, because there's a few interesting things here, right? So I searched for the Miller effect. Here it is. Here, right? Here is the Miller effect, and it's very comprehensive. It's got all the formulas and everything. And then you notice it's actually identical. If you actually have a look at it, it's identical, practically word for word. I believe it is. I haven't looked at every word, but it looks like every single word, and there'll be an interesting factoid about this in a minute. I think this is actually literally a direct copy from Wikipedia, and that's fine, of course, because Wikipedia is Creative Commons, of course. Where is it? Yeah, Creative Commons attributes, share alike. You can look at the license and everything, so you're allowed to do it. There's nothing wrong there. Anyone can do it, right? So there's no issue there at all. But you'll notice there's a couple of things missing from it. One is the image, right? Images are missing from Grokipedia. It's just not there. That's a bit of a downside, because I personally add quite a lot of images to Wikipedia. Some people do know that. Yeah, I like to add things, as I often do teardowns. Sometimes I've edited the text in Wikipedia, but mostly I just like adding images. It's just a thing I like to do. Just to add like visual context. So that's missing. So I don't know if this. Grokipedia is only version 0.1, right? It is literally just released in the last 24 hours, right? So this is early, but this is all, constructive feedback. So it looks like it's direct word for word. The formatting, everything is identical. And that's fine, but you might think, well, how do you know? Has Grok subtly changed anything? That's the big deal, right? The whole advantage of Wikipedia is that it's fully traceable. You can go in here and you can view the entire traceable history of the Miller effect, and you can do comparisons with other versions and things like that. You can see who's like changed it and discussions about it, and that's like the huge advantage of Wikipedia, of course, and the references. And you'll notice in the Miller effect there are no references. There are there's no little numbers next to it, and at the bottom of the page, there's no references. Whereas in Wikipedia, you get the reference numbers like this, which will hyperlink out to things, and it's at the bottom of the page as well. So that's missing, but not on all pages. So this is interesting. So let's go into the search engine of Grokipedia, and this would, if you type in Miller effect here, this is what actually pops up. Miller theorem will pop up, and all these different things, right? Like people and stuff. Bullwhip effect. We can go look that up. But if we type in and search for transistor here, okay, we can go into the transistor page, which will look like a direct version of Wikipedia. So you could freeze this video and you could try and compare these two here, right? It looks like, once again, identical wording, identical formatting, but minus any of the, nice images and everything else, right? It seems to be an identical copy, once again, of the Transistor Wikipedia page. But once again, how do you know? Has it changed? Is it 100% copy? Is it 99%? In 99.9? Is it 90%? You don't know. Well, I thought you didn't know, because I didn't see. If we go to Miller effect here, I'm actually logged in here, and it doesn't really give me any options like this. It's just like manage account, service status, Grok chat. Can we do that? I don't know, manage account. So I can't make any edits. That's one of the things here. If I, as an honest, unbiased person, want to contribute to Grokipedia, how do I do that? I don't know. Does Wikipedia remain the sole source of, well, the main source of like human input? Will Grokipedia, index or continually index Wikipedia, and then it'll get you pull in the human changes from there, and it'll fact check, and it tells you up the top, fact check by Grok 2 days ago, and you can go, it's wrong. What happens if it's wrong? What happens if I click? I haven't tried this. Help us improve Grokipedia. Share what's wrong with this following piece of information and suggest corrections with any relevant. There you go. I just found out live here that you can actually do this. This person was born in 19, and I guess Grokipedia will then go out and fact check that, and if it does, it'll add it. Actually, that's pretty cool. I like that. So you can't just make immediate direct changes. It looks like, I'm not actually going to try it. Maybe I'll do it in my own time to see if there's like anything I want to add. Well, help us improve. Share what's wrong. So that's not adding new information. That's just like if you find an error in it. So that's interesting. But so there's no references in here. Okay, it seems to be a direct word-for-word copy. If we go into the transistor one, okay, look, all of a sudden we've got these references. Exactly like Wikipedia. That's interesting. And look what's popped up in this top right corner. See edits. We can go in here and we can see all of these edits. The issue, right? So source citation mismatch, for example, Grok has discovered this. There's an issue. The most widely used type of transistor, the metal oxide semiconductor MOSFET, was invented by Bell Labs between 1955 and 1960, and it's fixed it and it's revised that bit of text in Wikipedia to invented in 1959 by Mohammed M. Atala and DeWong Quang at Bell Labs and demonstrated in 1960 with citations, and it's put in 3 extra citations. So there you go. So this had a whole bunch of citations, and this only had 3, so I'm not sure, supporting evidence, Computer History Museum, yeah, okay, decent reference, scope, applicability, misstatement. This specifies pin names for BJTs but presents them as general for all transistors, ignoring MOSFETs, which use gate source drain. Okay. Pin names, base collector emitter. Okay. Remove the info box table per guidance, retaining only images and captions to avoid specific misrepresentation. That's interesting. Okay. So it has changed things, and you can see that Grok has gone through and it's put all its supporting evidence, and presumably it will add to this if you do that manual update thing like we did before. Grok will go away, think about it, come back, and if it fact checks it, then it will update the page and add to this reference list. So, like missing information, scope, applicability, timeliness, currency, right? It's pretty impressive, actually, for a version 0.1, like for a first day release of this thing. I don't mind that at all. And this was not obvious, right? This does not show up on the Miller Effect page. Because when I originally posted on X, which totally blew up, I didn't think there were references at all in Grokipedia, because this page doesn't have references. Presumably, why that is, I don't know. But the transistor one does. It's got the edits. It made the edits. It tells you. So it would have been nice if, up the top, fact checked by Grok 2 days ago, this is a direct 100% copy of Wikipedia as of this date or whatever, right? That would be nice. Grok, hereby declare that I have made no changes to this from Wikipedia, or something like that. It's just, it was non-obvious to me, and it's like, I'm sure that will confuse a lot of people, but some pages have edits and some don't, because it was fact checked 100% and it just didn't bother to tell you. And I won't go into the socio-political pages, because some of those pages have been like totally changed, like there's big differences. So yeah, like how do you know? Do you have to go up and like do the see edit? If you see the see edits button, I guess you have to go up there and see what it's changed, which is great. So there is traceability there, and that's excellent, which is, it would have made it totally useless if Grokipedia didn't have traceability. And it seems to do it, and like for a beta or a first release version, it actually seems quite impressive. So there you have it. They were just some interesting observations I found on the new Grokipedia here. I haven't used it for all that long, but it's interesting. It's interesting how they've implemented that. We can see the changes. We can go, oh, that reference link, those reference links in there don't want to, the supporting evidence link works down here, but yeah, so maybe have to make those references clickable. That'd be nice, I guess, but yeah. It's pretty groovy. And if you're wondering what that service status page is, it's just an XAI service status thing, all the X, all the APIs and grok. It's all available. Grok, yep, everything. Okay. So I assume that images will come to grok, because I think, personally, I think that's one of the big advantages of is the images and stuff like that. Otherwise you leave out a lot of context for like visual learning context here. But anyway, I think at first I thought, oh God, this has got a large number of issues, but as I started using it, well, yes, it does have the references, not consistently, but they are there, and it looks like you have the ability to add corrections, which grok will go away and fact check, as much as you trust an AI fact check. I don't know, leave it in the comments down below. But yeah, it's an interesting first take on Wikipedia and avoiding. Here's the problem, right? The great advantage of Wikipedia is the humans have put so much blood, sweat and tears into building up Wikipedia, and then AI comes along, Grokipedia comes along and takes it all and then goes, oh, I'll take it from here, thank you very much. And really there's no way doesn't seem to be a way for a human to directly change the text anymore. So do you have to go back to Wikipedia and hope that it scans that periodically and then updates itself? And is that the way to add human things? But anyway, it's literally just released today. We don't, so hopefully this is constructive feedback, and they'll add some extra features. But then again, I guess the whole point of this is that you don't want humans to directly edit it, right? So yeah, I guess you choose the human edited Wikipedia with all its bias flaws, especially in the socio-political stuff that people really argue about and like do worse to each other about, and just boring technical stuff like the transistor and the Miller effect here, which I'm sure nerds argue over as well, but it's not as bad. Just as an example of arguing, somebody started, wasn't me, somebody added me to Wikipedia donkeys years ago, right? It's pretty boring stuff. But if you actually go to the view history and if you go to the talk about my page, I haven't looked at this for years. It's the last thing happened in 2015, I'm not sure, but yeah, like you can see, like people have been, discussing my page and what changes should be made and shouldn't. But I know that there have been some people who have tried to get my, back in the day, back in the old cancellation days, there were people who wanted to get my Wikipedia page deleted. So yeah, I'm sure there was actually more discussion at the time about my page. Oh yeah, I found it. It's in the archives here. This is just like why not interviews. We could go on and on, but people are like arguing over like what for consent. Like this is just me. People are arguing. This is like, I think at the time, notability, blah 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 blah. Like removal of notability tag. What? Like April Fool's stuff. Like about self. My God, look, it keeps going on. Yeah, look at the scroll on the side here. This is just nuts of people like, what? Why is it crossed out? I don't know. And then if we go into archive 2, right? Reasons for recent point of view, point of view, I don't know. And like people, look, this is back in like 2016 or something like that. People were just like going on and on about just my page, let alone someone actually like really notable and controversial. What? Jeez, what? It's just nuts. Anyway, this is what can happen, right, on Wikipedia, and that's just my page. So I guess that's an interesting question, and thoughts and comments down below, please. Like, you know, are you going to stick with Wikipedia because you know it's been sourced by humans, even with all the flaws of humans who want to battle it out for supremacy on Wikipedia, that my opinion matters more than your opinion on this person or this topic or whatever? Or do you are you going to trust Grokipedia? I know it's very, like, literally just released today, but do you like this model better where humans can't make, or I assume they never will be able to make, a direct change to the page? Otherwise you end up with exactly Wikipedia. So I guess that, you know, that's what they're trying to avoid, and all the issues associated. Isn't there, like, there was this thing about, like, one guy controlled like 20 or made 20% of the changes to Wikipedia, or some insane number like that. There was just like these super nerds out there who just, you know, make all the changes, and there's all this talk about how certain types of people dominate Wikipedia and all the rest of it. So let us know what you think. Do you think Grokipedia, or, you know, AI-apedia is going to be a better solution to, or do you like your Wikipedia and trust that humans have curated this? I mean, Grokipedia, of course, none of this AI crap would exist without human content. Let's put it that way. And I've done a curve somewhere. Where is it? Do I still have the curve? Nah, I couldn't find it, but I posted on X once a DaveCAD graph, and it looked like a curve like this, where it reaches an inflection point up the top somewhere, where there's so much AI content produced that it's more than the human content that it originally fed on, and so it's AI feeding on AI content continually, and then the quality of it goes back down. So the quality goes up, and then the quality reach asymptotes towards zero again, because like there's no more human content out there. It's just AI feeding on AI slop, feeds on more AI slop, and then it's AI slop turtles all the way down. Anyway, let us know what you think down below. Catch you next time.
It all flows into this room and then into what we call the Whopper computer.
The Whopper spends all its time thinking about World War III. Estimates damage, counts the dead, then it looks for ways to improve its score.
But the point is that the key decisions of every conceivable option in a nuclear crisis have already been made by the Whopper.
So what you're telling me is that all this trillion-dollar hardware is really at the mercy of those men with the little brass keys.
That's exactly right. Whose only problem is that they're human beings. But in, 30 days, we could replace them with electronic relays. Get the men out of the loop.
Gentlemen, I wouldn't trust this overgrown pile of microchips any further than I could throw it.